In today's video, I want to share my first impression of HollowKnight Silksong. I have roughly 6 to 7 hours of gameplay, and I have one completion in HollowKnight. I'm not an uber fan. I don't know much about the game, but I have truly been enjoying them, and I want to share my thoughts with you. As I stated, I just finished HollowKnight. I literally beat the game day one of launch of Silksong. So it was a real nice transition for me to go from HollowKnight to Silksong. One of the things that I really enjoyed the most is just how visually appealing this game was. Knowing that HollowKnight was created roughly 6 to 7 years ago, and knowing that it's hand-drawn, I had this feeling that playing Silksong, the game wouldn't look as great as some of these other modern titles. And for what it is a 2D platform at Metrovania game, but it still is very much visually appeasing. And that's even outside of the fact that the game runs at 120 FPS on your Switch 2 and PC. Looking at the game, it just looks really crispy and vibrant. HollowKnight didn't necessarily look bad, but it does look dull in some regards and not as sharp. When I look at this, there's a stark contrast between the two. And that's not saying, again, that HollowKnight is bad. It's just different. It's a game that was released 7 years ago, and you say to yourself, how can they improve and make a hand-drawn game even better? And they did that. All of the environments look visually appeasing. They're their own biomes within this universe. It's not exactly like HollowKnight or the Hollowness, but we're in a whole new environment that is an extension of that universe. And you can tell how each of these individual spaces fit, but still all feel very similar and the same. In regards to the music in this game, HollowKnight had a really good soundtrack. One of the things that we often don't think about when playing a video game is how much narrative is told through background music. Silksong, again, has some really good music in it, just like HollowKnight did. As you're exploring this world and you're taking it in visually and you're listening to the music, it is a really immersive experience. And if you are a person that likes OSTs, the gentleman Christopher Larkin did another amazing job on this game. Shout out to him. He even released the entire soundtrack on Bandcamp, so you can go and listen to it there if that's your thing. I'll leave a link to it in the video description. Combat is where I think this game is going to shine a lot for people. My fear was, after playing HollowKnight and starting over with Silksong immediately, I wouldn't feel as powerful and there would be a new ramp up for power, which does happen, right? I shouldn't feel as strong, but I don't want it to be in a detriment to the fun in the game. Hornet has a completely different moveset and play style than the Knight did. Her elegance through combat and how she moves around the screen and at the pace that you get abilities is done really well. I don't want to ruin it for a lot of people, but this game has a very interesting way of providing you new movesets. HollowKnight really didn't give you the option to change your entire moveset altogether. Unless I'm confused, let me know in the comments. This game has a new system that allows you to change your pogo style and change your sword animation, and they all play vastly different and have different pros and cons. So we're talking about combat. And in combat, one of the great things about HollowKnight was that they had this really versatile charm system that, based on, I think it was 45 charms, based on the amount of notches you had, you could determine what charm combination you would have put on. And it was pretty good. It was really versatile, but there was no way to really save that. In Silksong, they have a new type of system where they moved away, where it's called crest and tools. The crest defines the moveset of Hornet, but the crest has different notches on it. I don't know what they're calling them, but they're sockets for tools. We'll call them sockets for the tools. And each tool has a specific section that it can go in. So you can't stack a bunch of, if these things are yellow and these are blue and this is green, then you only have one of those until you expand it. You can expand the crest sockets for tools by using a memory thing that increases it. I think long term, this would be a really unique and diverse way to somewhat save builds for your character moving forward. I want to put on this crest because I build it out to do long range damage, you know, hypothetically. I want to put on this crest because the moveset's better to target this type of enemy. I personally really like that because I feel like there's a lot more fluid in that system. You know, cool, you had the 45 charms, but again, I didn't play as much and I didn't use all 45 charms. As we are walking around this beautifully crafted world, they have given us the opportunity to take on tasking from all of the inhabitants of the world. It is a new quest system that they built in via a board in one of the first hubs that I think is absolutely great, because you are now given the option to do quests for everyone in the world. And it's not even just bound to this board. What I'm trying to say is they added a quest system, and it's done again pretty well. You can track it in the menu and it'll track the progress, and then you'll go to this board and turn it in, or you'll go back to the NPC. So you'll be receiving tasking, which is called granting wishes to people in the world, and you'll get upgrades and abilities through that system. This is a really good way to keep the player engaged and promote exploration in the game, because if I am ever given a side quest without a way to track it and without a way to like have a visual representation of me needing to do it, then odds are I'm not going to do it, and I'm just going to plow through the game. So I think this will incentivize more exploration and us playing the game a lot more thoroughly than the first one. I mean, you're gonna run it up anyway because it's Silksong, but this is a built-in system that will allow you to do that and enjoy it a lot more robustly. I want to take a moment to talk about our protagonist. I really enjoy that Hornet has a lot of personality in this game versus the Knight. She has a couple taunt animations that use the player get to trigger if you click in the right stick. She has dialogue with the characters in the game and the NPCs that we meet. She just feels more attached to the world and more a centerpiece than what the Knight felt when we were playing HollowKnight. And that's not to say the way that they told the story in the previous game was bad, but I really prefer how much character she is given in this world. She comes off very much of being an intentional point in the game, and like they didn't create the world and then drop her in it. I'm enjoying that a lot. In the first game, I felt less inclined to listen to some of the story beats or to read some of the story beats. In this one, because her attitude to me radiates through her dialogue lines and how people respond to her in the world, definitely has made it more enjoyable to play in that regards. I like that she's just not a random thing walking around the world, but actually the centerpiece of it, and we're getting to play from her perspective, and she has dialogue lines and she's interacting with people. Now, this is one of my favorite things that I have kind of wanted to talk about is difficulty and like game progression. I personally don't feel like the game is that difficult, but I truly am fresh off of a HollowKnight playthrough. So I think the perspective may be for people that have taken a lot of time off and have come into this game and they're playing now after being away for so long, it probably does feel really difficult. But I think that's also based off your personal experience as like a gamer. I play a lot of Souls games. I'm not great at them, but I am good at pattern recognition. So it doesn't feel that difficult to me. I also feel like the scale of play as we progress through the world and we fight bosses and we're hit with new challenges and new NPC fights, I feel like that in itself has been done really well. The scale at which they are leveling up the difficulty to me feels really good. I haven't gotten to a fight yet, and I think we fought roughly 6 or 7 bosses by this point, where I've thought to myself, this fight does not make sense to me. I can't beat this. That hasn't happened to me yet. And that's not to say that it won't, but currently where I'm at 6 to 7 hours, I think the difficulty is fine. As they say, bro, just get good, you know, to some people that are upset about it. Overall, I'm definitely enjoying my time with the game. I haven't really run into bugs. I would recommend, if you're on the fence, definitely pick it up. I'm still gonna play through. This by any means is not a full review, but understand this is just my first impressions, and they may change later on as I get further in the game and we have more time with it. If you made it this far in the video, definitely drop a like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you enjoying the game? Are you going to pick it up? Other than that, I'm out. Peace.